In 2011, West Bengal witnessed a massive democratic shift. Voters ousted a Marxist regime that had ruled without interruption for 34 years. But changing the ruling party did not stop the bleeding. To understand why, we must look at how political power is maintained in the state. The roots go back to the intense political conflicts of the 1970s. During this decade, the Communist Party of India, Marxist or CPIM, began engineering a system where opposing the state meant risking your life. In March 1970, a CPIM mob stormed the home of the same family, known for supporting the rival Congress Party. They murdered 2 brothers and a tutor, then allegedly forced the victim's mother to eat rice smeared with her own son's blood. By 1979, the Left Front used this absolute power to target lower-caste Hindu refugees who had settled in the remote Sunderbans Delta. Through strict economic blockades and direct police firing, the state subjected the settlers to starvation and dehydration. The mass deaths that followed were never officially recorded. Violence became public and systemic. In 1982, Ananda Marga monks were lynched on the streets of Calcutta in broad daylight. In 1990, female government health workers were gang-raped and murdered in the Bantala case. Over 2 decades, political violence evolved from street riots into a permanent, highly effective tool of state control. The breaking point for the Bengali electorate arrived in the mid-2000s, when the Left Front turned its formidable machinery against the state's rural farmers. This map shows 997 acres of fertile, multi-crop agricultural land in Hooghly district that the state attempted to seize in 2006. The government intended to clear the area for a corporate factory to manufacture the Tata Nano. Local farmers resisted. To crush them, loyalists murdered teenage activist Tapasi Malik, sparking national outrage. Yet expropriation grew. The map pans south to Nandigram, highlighting a 10,000-acre zone. The state planned to clear entire villages for a chemical hub. Villagers physically blocked the roads to stop the takeover. On March 14, 2007, heavily armed police forces stormed Nandigram, firing directly into the crowds and killing 14 people. The violent overreach shattered the Left Front's aura of invincibility. It demonstrated that using terror against citizens defending their livelihoods could trigger a revolution. Opposition leader Mamata Banerjee stepped into the center of the crisis. She staged hunger strikes, walked to Nandigram, and unified the public's grief into a single opposition movement. Her campaign focused on the slogan, Ma Mati Manush, Mother, Motherland, and People. It was a message that appealed directly to a rural electorate traumatized by the state's actions. The ruling party fought back. When displaced villagers returned in late 2007, CPIM cadres unleashed a new wave of murders and sexual violence. Addressing the media about the retaliatory attacks, Chief Minister Buddhadeb Bhattacharjee stated that the opposition had been paid back in their own coin. The response at the polls was definitive. In 2011, the Trinamool Congress won an absolute majority in the state assembly, ending the 34-year Marxist rule. The electorate believed the machinery of political violence was finally gone. But as the new government settled in, the pattern began to repeat. Fast forward to the weeks following the 2021 state assembly elections. As the results were finalized, a familiar pattern of systemic violence returned to the districts. These red impact nodes represent dozens of documented instances of targeted post-poll violence. Following their victory, TMC cadres launched a systemic assault against BJP workers and political rivals across the state. The methods mirrored the 1970s. In Kolkata, BJP worker Avijit Sarkar was dragged from his home and lynched on the street with a cable wire. A National Human Rights Commission report classified the violence as a planned assault on political opposition. The terror forced hundreds of families to flee West Bengal entirely, seeking shelter in makeshift refugee camps in neighboring Assam. The infrastructure of state terror survived the change in leadership. The same tactics once used to suppress the TMC were now deployed by the party to solidify its own dominance. This split screen illustrates the continuity of power in the state. On the left, Left Front land massacres. On the right, TMC post-poll lynchings. Across 50 years, sexual terror, mob intimidation, and police complicity have remained the standard tools used to eliminate opposition. In West Bengal, the flags and the leaders change. The methods of the state do not.